Hi guys, welcome to the Man United Agenda. And yes, we've become third in the league. 75 points, massive. And I'm here to talk about the game 2-1 versus Fulham. Hi guys, welcome to the Man United Agenda. I hope some of you got to watch the game. Obviously, they're showing relegations games and things. Everton are currently winning 1-0. So they're sort of holding on by their skin of their teeth right now. There's 10 minutes overtime. So I'll keep you updated on that. I'm sure you guys in the comments will, that's for sure. Want to say hi to Zoe Media House. How you doing, Zoe Media House? Hope you're doing well. Enjoying this beautiful weather. Every time Dan James got the ball, I shouted, come on. Oh, we should be doing that. Big up from Birmingham, Matthew Bassett. How you doing? Third place in the league. How you feel about that, Matthew? I mean, come on. Did you really expect that at the start of the season? Third place in the league and 75 points. I'm saying 75. Yeah, it is 75 points. That's a good account. Look, 38 games, 23 wins. Very good. 6 draws and 9 losses. 9 sounds a lot. Obviously, a lot of those losses we can sort of fix up by next season, I imagine. I mean, we lost to Brighton, we lost to Brentford early season. Shouldn't be doing that. And obviously, we lost to Villa as well. Shouldn't be losing that. But our home record was good. It's just the away form, maybe at the end of it. And goal difference of 15. So that needs to improve as well. So I'm encouraged to come third place and still have areas of improvement. That shows that we can really step it up next season. Well done to Newcastle, by the way. Big up OMONDI and everyone in the chat. Yes, I'm on my own today. So we'll just be talking about this beautiful game. I hope you guys all saw it. Fulham, her last game of the season. The sun was out. It was beautiful out there. And the atmosphere was great. And let's talk about the starting lineup because the manager, we was discussing this all week now. Now, the manager's giving opportunities here for people to step up and deliver. And because with the cup final coming up next week, he's giving the opportunities for people to say, right, go out there, give me a good performance, and make me think about my starting lineup for next week. So Tagaya is in goal. Dalot started today, guys. What do you think about that? I mean, Wan-Bissaka's been brilliant at the moment, hasn't he? So the manager's fair. He's giving Dalot a run out to say, show me what you got, and let's see if you can be in serious contention for the starting lineup next week. It was a brilliant season, says Zoe Media House, without a proper striker. Yeah, that's where the goal difference comes in, doesn't it? I mean, imagine we had a proper striker. We'd be up there with the other big teams with goal difference. It's really poor, but it's okay. I'm on my own. Yes, I'm on my own. Juma, that's me. If you're welcome to come on Bath Time. You know the drill. You know what to do. Matthew Bassett saying here, third place, 2 cup finals, a trophy. We've overachieved. Does everyone agree with Matthew there? I certainly do. At the start of the season, just remember cast your mind back, guys. Where were you? What was your thinking in June last year when Ten Hag was employed and we were in kind of the muds, with the team we had? Did you really envisage that we would be in 2 cup finals, domestic cup finals, get to the quarterfinals of the Europa League and be third in the league? Which I think the biggest achievement for me is third in the league. That's massive right now. Anyway, so Dalot, what do you guys think about Dalot starting today? Did he do justice? We will come to player ratings later. Can't wait to see Ten Hag, what he's done once he gets the players that he wants. Yeah, there he goes. There's room for progression here. Want to big up to my partner in crime, and that's Bath Time with Vaughan. Darius, how are you, bro?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Good to see you,
season's
man.
over. Yeah.
It's a long season. How are you feeling about that? Because just to respond to this is for you, Bath Time. Third place, 2 cup finals and a trophy. We've overachieved. Can you respond to that? What do you think? Is he on the money there?
No, I don't think so. I think I got laughed at a bit at the start of the season because I said that I thought that we would finish top 4 and we would do it pretty comfortably, and that we should win a trophy. But I think it's because we've been poor since after the World Cup. We've sort of whatever that expression is, where a wounded animal gets across the line, limped. We limped across the line. hasn't really been that convincing and stuff. So I do, and these players have finished second and third before, so I don't think that we've overachieved. I don't think that we've underachieved. I think it's an
Oh.
acceptable season for United.
So Zoe Media House is saying here, yes, we overachieved. Half our squad were almost out the door, but Ten Hag brought out the best of the underachievers. And Glenn saying here, can't wait for next season. Big up to Ed Mayhem as well. A club like ours should be in the top four as a bare minimum. Big up to Ten Hag. He's done an amazing job with what he's got. Do you think Ten Hag gets credit? Do you give credit to Ten Hag? Is he an awesome coach?
Yeah, I think so. It's difficult to tell, isn't it? Because it's his first season, and he doesn't have the players or the types of player in of how he wants to play. There's been some great times, but you can't discount like being 4-0 down at halftime twice, losing 7-0 at Liverpool. Like there's been moments that I really hope that he can learn from. But the future looks extremely promising with Ten Hag. He's just got to get the balance in midfield a bit better for me.
We can just confirm the relegated teams. Everton did hold on and win 1-0, so they're safe. Leeds have gone down, and Leicester City, former, wasn't long ago their Premier League champs. Are you surprised by this, Leicester City going down?
No, not really. I mean, obviously, I made that prediction about Vardy at the start of the season.
Yeah, of course. You want to run that by people who don't remember.
I think everyone knows this. That I said that I thought that Vardy would outscore Haaland, Jesus, and Darwin Nunez with about 18 league goals. But I didn't think about this court case that was coming up and things. But I mean, like,
yeah.
The thing about it with teams like Leicester is we've seen this with like Reading, with Swansea, with Southampton. Teams that sell their best players and rely on sort of scouting hidden gems to replace them, it doesn't last forever.
Yeah.
And it's why I'd be concerned if I was a Brighton fan, to be honest. You can't just have a conveyor belt of Premier League quality talent coming in every year.
How do you feel? Because Brighton got rid of Cucurella and they brought in there's a left back that's playing for them. I can't pronounce his name. He seems okay though. I mean, that's evidence. Okay, you're Spanish speaking, so yeah, you've got that down to a T. I mean, that's another example of like for like, someone who comes in and automatically gets into the groove. So I think they're doing all right. People would be shocked that you'd say that, but when we see CSIs like Leicester go down by half time, you're proven to be prophetic in a way.
Cheers.
It's true. No, it's true. It's true. I'd never considered like that. But Brighton, yeah, be warned. Half time has given the word. Just talking about the starting lineup today, the team selection. Do you think Dalot starting instead of Wan-Bissaka? It's not based on form, clearly. But do you think it's to give him an opportunity to sort of shine for next week, to put himself in consideration for the final?
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, like, Dalot is like, from all accounts, a consummate professional, and I mean, he's generally one of the hardest working players, like, out on the pitch. And I think that you have to give him game time, because is Aaron Wan-Bissaka suited to dealing with Jack Grealish? I'm not so sure. Like, we needed to get minutes in the legs for just a few players today, and obviously experiment a little bit with the system.
So do you think that Dalot's in contention then? Because you mentioned about dealing with Jack Grealish next week. We've done tactical shows on Man City. I mean, next week's going to be massive fight week and the build up to that. So maybe we can do another show talking about what we need to be mindful of. Do you think Dalot's in with a shout? But what about his? We talk about his performance later. But do you think he's got the character and the ability to sort of do something against it?
I do. I think that both him and Wan-Bissaka are players that we need to sort of ship one and upgrade, to be honest. But
okay,
like Dalot is a proper defender. I don't think Aaron Wan-Bissaka is. Aaron Wan-Bissaka's good at 1v1 duels, but he's quite poorly positioned a lot of the time. He's not good at the back post. I think that Dalot has got a bit more to his game, but you can't deny that Wan-Bissaka's done pretty well this season. He's good at getting out of the press, but I would personally pick Dalot ahead of Wan-Bissaka for the cup final.
Half time, what you just said about Wan-Bissaka is so 2022, but he's turned a lot of people around this year with his performances in 2023. Are you being fair here, or are you being a bit shrewd about his thing? Because people, that's a tag that's labeled on him. Has he turned it around? Can you see any positives with his game, improvements in his game?
I mean, like, look, he's played. So we were much better as a football team before the World Cup. Do you agree?
Yeah, totally.
Aaron Wan-Bissaka didn't start a single game. Like, I think he came on as a sub against Liverpool, and Delot played essentially every game until Christmas. After Christmas, do you think we were good defensively and all that?
Not
No,
necessarily, no.
that's when Wan-Bissaka came in. So I don't think I'm being unfair. I think it's that Wan-Bissaka does things that look very impressive, and when he doesn't do things that, and when he's doing things that are poor, he's not necessarily punished for them, so it's less obvious.
Fair enough.
But that would be my evidence for that.
Makes sense. Andy Herbert saying here, well done. Let's hope you get to win the FA Cup final. The issue with Leicester is that the owners have travel-related business, and COVID hurt them massively. That's from Emma Kay. Zoe Media House is saying here, underdog mentality needed for the FA Cup, and fans need to chant all week on social media. We have over 1 billion fans. Let's make some noise, she's saying. Rich Sports, how you doing? Go and subscribe to Rich Sports, no doubt. And Rich, hopefully you'll be on later, giving us a little review of the season or the game. Rich is saying a Leicester situation, you could see that happening years ago. I didn't see it. I'm not around bath time as much as Rich Sports, but yeah, I never saw that happening. They've got some fantastic players. I just didn't see them dropping off so much. Remember, they were fighting for the top four. They were in the top four a lot of the season of the last couple of years. Box saying here, how you doing, Box, by the way? Hope you enjoyed the game. Fans are reactionary. Someone said Wan-Bissaka was player of the year. Who was that someone? Call them out.
I think it was George, to be honest. Sounds like something he would say.
Ben
Thornley.
Yeah.
Jesus.
There you go. People say a lot of stuff. Anyway, going back to the starting lineup, Lindelof and Maguire, Nova Varane today, and Malacia at left back. You think Shaw's injured, or do you think? And what about Maguire? Probably his last game for Manchester United.
I don't know. Like, I mean, anything could happen. He didn't play like it was his last game, though.
Right.
I switched to Everton, to be honest, at the final whistle, so I didn't see any of the other things. But De Gea today acted like it was his last game. I'm not sure that Maguire did, but good luck to them if they move off. Short precautionary, I would think. He walks in over Malacia.
And obviously, I think someone said to me that why is Casemiro starting? If he got a yellow card today, he could have been at the final. I don't know how true that is, but he started. He's been a boss this season. Just quick summary about him as a player. I know you call him a pudding sometimes, but there are a lot of positives to his game. There was a quote I heard recently. Maybe it's just a commentator, but said Casemiro has got Man United top 4 this season. Is there any truth in that?
No. The team have got Man United top 4. I mean, like, look, Casemiro is... I'm getting more and more concerned with Casemiro the more I see of him. He's got poor discipline, like whether it's warranted or not. He's been suspended far too much, but he doesn't protect the centre of the pitch well enough. He gets caught too far up the pitch, and that means that we're going to have 2 players to cover for him. He's got all the frills. He's a beautiful passer of the ball. I think he's being used in the wrong position. I think we should be looking at someone like Pirlo to see how to use him, and just use him as a deep-lying playmaker instead of him. Like, he's so bad in transition. It's embarrassing sometimes to watch how far beyond play he is and things. And he just needs to a better system around him, and we'll see a much, much better player. But I think that his achievements this season have been massively overrated because he puts the team under so much pressure so many times, and it concerns me.
Okay. A lot of people, like me personally, I will say Casemiro has been magnificent. It's great to see, like, because for the last few years, our midfield's been really poor, in my opinion. And seeing a guy come in like that, he looks fantastic. Maybe based on the previous level that we've been watching, at Man United in the midfield, Fred, McTominay, those sort of guys. So to see him come in this season, and what I really loved about him is his drive, determination. You even said he's a big game player. He can, scoring goals, like the goal he scored the other day, getting into the box, winning headers. I think he's a top pro, and I think it's just infectious to have a player like that around. For fans and for the players around him to be playing with someone like him. He's a boss, in my opinion. So fair play to him. Just quickly going back to the starting lineup again. You're the manager. You jumped on the show the other day, Bath Time, and you were saying Solo picked a similar team to what you would have picked, which is basically what he started with today. He's got Garnacho, Bruno, Sancho, and Rashi. Is that similar to what you said?
I thought we'd see Weghorst up front to start with, to be honest. But yeah, it was a similar team. I was surprised by it, to be honest.
All right, let's go through a few comments here. Rich Sports saying, guess won't see Andrew bet after you bet £100 Man United wouldn't get top 4. Woo! Call him out. Call him out. Zone Media House saying here, I believe the Leicester story from promotion to winning Premier League can be capitulated since was always fixed. I see a lot of potential fixing. Call me paranoid. Zone Media House, that's a big claim. I don't know anything about that, but tell me more. Rich Sports is saying at least they won during their few years at the top, unlike Spurs. And Zoe's saying it before Leicester promotion to Premier League, they were 1 week away from administration. Just quickly, sidetrack here. What do you think about Luton coming through the leagues like that and not really having a great budget? What have they done so well? I mean, they've just been promoted to the Premier League for the first time since the 80s. I mean, wow.
I know, but Amonda, as you know, I used to watch Coventry City a bit when I was younger, being from around those parts, and I prefer Coventry to Luton. But I think it's a great story. I don't know anything about Luton. I've got to be honest, apart from their stadium, so I have no idea.
Okay. Did you watch the game today?
Do you mean yesterday?
No, today. The Fulham, Man United Fulham.
Yes, I did watch it.
You're not wigging it in. All right, let's go to the performance. Yeah, so we scored a goal. Well, they scored a goal early on. Now, we talked about corners on our podcast, didn't we, the other day with Barry Miller? Go and check it out. By the way, there's another one coming on at 10:30 tonight. A bit late, but it's bank holiday weekend. Barry Miller's a defender. We asked him, how do you defend corners? And he said zonal, one-man zonal, the rest picking up, so that one man will dominate everything. Today, we conceded a corner, a near post, and we had I counted 5 guys in the 6-yard box, Man United defenders, and not one of them had a run-up or anything like that. I thought it was pathetic defending.
Well, I think the thing that annoyed me is actually earlier than that. Do you remember how we conceded that corner?
I don't know. Do you want to run it by me?
Yeah, it was a 35-yard chipped pass that Maguire had to head out of his own 6-yard box.
Right.
This is why I get stressed with De Gea. Should be gobbling stuff like that up. Yeah. But then when it came to it, I mean, I think if I recall rightly, Casemiro and Maguire were on Mitrovic. They're trying to one in front, one behind, standard stuff. Malacia got handled like a little boy in that
corner. Oh my God. He was on the floor, crumbled.
It looked like, when you see like a really angry mother putting her son in a car at like the big Tesco. That's basically what it looked like.
Oh,
but the thing that enraged me most about it is that I always think, I know Barry said you should put your second strongest. I always think put your strongest header at the near post, and we had Rashford, and like in the past we used to have Pogba doing it there, who was very good at that role, but it was just, I don't know. I mean, it's really poor, and it's a bit embarrassing to score a goal like that, like Malacia looking like that, Maguire and Casemiro looking like a bunch of puddings roly-polying about. I don't know if I'm being harsh on the keeper, but I think the keeper should be getting balls in that area. It didn't look like he was being pinned in. It was just maybe it's just an end of season goal and they weren't really up for it. But either way, it was embarrassing, their goal for me. What did you think?
I just think Malacia got completely trampled on. What's he doing there? I just think
you've gone Dalek.
Oh God! All right, I'm gonna come out and come in again. Take over.
All right. I'm just going to look at some comments that Omonde has starred here. And Emma K is saying, I was right about the Palestri sub. He looked bright. You can tell he's still very inexperienced, especially in the physical aspect. I'm sure we'll get on to Plestri later. I really like him as a player. And Rich is saying Luton were famous for a plastic pitch back. Yeah, they used to play on AstroTurf. I know that. Hello, Amonde. How are you? Had a good day?
Bad, how are you? How do I sound?
You sound good.
Good. Yeah, the plastic pitch was a great advantage for them. I think that's why they remained in the top flight for so long. It was so difficult for teams to come there and adapt to that bouncy pitch. Les Seeley, the Steam brothers. Yeah. Sorry, go on. You were saying. Were you going through the comments?
Yeah, I just did the ones that you starred, but as much as I'm interested in what everyone is sort of saying, I'd like to know what you thought about the goal, about conceding from the corner.
Obviously, because I've become a bit obsessed with corners, defending corners recently, and even today I played a game and we're up against a big side, and I did exactly that. I was a spare man on the corners, and I made everyone pick up, and I had a run, let me explain this again. So we had corners up. We had a double header today, and there was plenty of corners we were defending. I'm 6'5". My brother's big, huge, 6'3". Got another guy who's probably about 6'6", 6'7". So the three of us were in the 6-yard box. My brother, no disrespect, I know you're watching Kahinde. My brother was standing still. So I was in the middle of the 6-yard box. He was facing the corner, and I'm saying to him, no, drop off to sort of middle left, and then attack that space. Don't stand still, because if you stand still, you're not going to be able to, do much. Someone might get a run on you. So drop off, and then you would run in and attack anything. That way, I will drop off and attack anything that comes in my zone, but with a run, with a bit of a movement, rather than just going like that. You know what I'm saying? So I think he learned something today from that. Experience comes through, brother to brother. But I just said to him, bro, just drop off a little bit, and you then run and attack that space. And know you clear everything, clear house. And so I think Man United should do something like that. Rather than standing still, zonal, as you saw, Malacia just got mashed and munched completely and looking pathetic. I'm going to go back and watch that and have a laugh at that. Just to see
was he a blocker in that? Like, what was he doing?
I think
he's got to be trying to block the run. He's got to be trying to block a run.
Yeah, but the guy who scored TATE, which was a really good header. All he did was peel off a little bit, which is, like I say, just having a little bit of a run up, 2 steps, and then came in and just.
Rashford on his flat-footed.
Was it Rashford?
Rashford was at the near post, and he was just flat-footed. And the thing is that like little Martinez wouldn't have been flat-footed there.
Yeah.
Like we saw later that McTominay wouldn't have been flat-footed there. It's I think we just had probably too many people at the near post that aren't defensively minded enough. And I'm delighted to hear that you're finally coming around to zonal marking at corners.
Well, not zonal, man to man, but what it has man to man, and the biggest guy, as Barry said, was usually me. I say, it's my house. I'm going to attack everything that comes in the box. It's like when we goal kicks or defending goal kicks. If I'm in that region, I will sprint wherever it goes and attack it and call my name, and it usually works. Yes, I was sprinting today. So Emma's made a good point here. She said TATE did use Paulina as a springboard, who held down Malacia. So it was technically down to 2 players.
But this is common like football, where you have like if you go back to the Brentford game at the start of the season, they were doing this to Eriksen. Over and over again. It's not a foul, and it's not an uncommon tactic. You get like you basically isolate the person that you can bully the most to get them out of the defensive line, and then you've got a hole there. That's what they did to Malacia, and he should be doing a hell of a lot better. I mean, you won't in the Premier League find someone who looks like that defending a corner like next season. Rolling about, it's just not good enough.
Just the guys on the pitch, who would have been in front post? Because you obviously had Mitrovic was being dealt with by Casemiro and Maguire, 2 of our best headers. But you've got guys like, you've got Rashford, Lindelof, Dalot.
Not Lindelof,
Dalot.
Dalot, like 6'1", I think he is 6 foot.
Yeah,
he very good in the air. Dalot, I'd have had him at the front post. I didn't see where he was, but that's where he should have been.
So we talk about reactions, don't we? Being reactive and getting things going. Sometimes we go down a goal. Sometimes you lose your confidence and thing. And we could have gone 2-0 down, and that would have been like a tough situation for the players. But
yeah,
let's talk about the penalty, because I think Maguire gave the ball away, and then he was running back, sort of half turn running back, and everyone was out of position. There was no rest defence, as you say.
Good.
And I think it was Bruno maybe sprinting back to get back into shape. And then obviously Kearney, or what his name is, ex-Man U guy, isn't he? He went down, and it was your boy Casemiro, who didn't have to bring him down, didn't have to do it, but he slided in and brought the man down. Just talk about the move that led to the penalty mistake.
Well, first of all, I want to give a shout out to Casemiro, because have you ever seen that film Puss in Boots, where the cat like makes its eyes really big to try and look really cute? Whenever Casemiro does a foul, he looks like an innocent 6-year-old. Yeah. I like what? Who, me? I really like it. Look, you're perfectly right. My recollection is that Maguire did a pass that I quite like, but is one that I wouldn't recommend people playing, which was he used the outside of his right foot. And that is, you don't want to do that in central areas, because the spin on the ball, it's not the easiest to take a good touch with those ones. Okay. He did it to Lindelof, who was far too far forwards. And I think you've hit the nail on the head. Like, whilst everyone will go in and say it's an individual error from Maguire, it's a system error. There's not enough people in the centre of the pitch. And it happens time and time again with United, is that if there's one or two people where they should be, we don't get cut through like that. We have to. They'll get forced out wide, and I don't actually put a huge amount of blame on Casemiro there. He stuck a leg out. It's silly, but it happens.
He went to ground half time. He went to ground and slid, and then didn't get a tackle, and then stuck a leg
before
out.
That, yeah. That's you're right. Was that the only time he went to ground in the game? Or did he go to ground twice? I think he went to ground twice. That was one of them. But it's desperate. It's desperation, because we weren't disciplined enough beforehand. Like, I don't blame particularly Casemiro and Maguire for that, because I think you should be looking at Fred, Sancho, Rashford, whoever it was. Someone wasn't covering, and that's what happens. You have to have like people in the centre of the pitch, or that happens all the time. And we do look like a bunch of idiots conceding that goal. It's an amateur goal that I doubt you'll see in the Championship like very often.
Well,
and shout out to De Gea.
Conceded the penalty.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, that should be a goal, shouldn't it? But shout out to De Gea. I absolutely loved it when he did one of his goal kicks into the crowd. That was absolutely fantastic. Terrible penalty.
I don't remember that. I was having difficulties with my buffering. But he saved a penalty. Fair play to him. Went low, strong hand. Usually sometimes they go under you, even if the keeper does dive the wrong way. Well done to him.
Yeah, he did great.
Right footers should get more power by hitting it to the left. Across the keeper, that's that side, because Mitrovic's right foot. He's gone that side to Mitrovic's right, the keeper's left. Do you think that you should just strike the ball as hard as you can into the opposite corner? So if you're right footed, playing it to the left hand side corner.
No, we've been through this before, OMONDI. Like, when I take a penalty, I just decide when I know I'm taking a penalty if I'm going top left or top right. And that's it. I don't think about going across the keeper or what hand they have.
Really brave, Bath time, to go top bins. It's because we missed a penalty today. The guy bladed it over the bar.
Practice. They haven't put the practice in of kicking a football that I have.
Yeah, that's
true. I trust. Look at Harry Kane. Harry Kane. I know he missed one in the World Cup actually, but he's obviously spent hours practicing his penalties. And you know all about my plough stories. Like, I spent a lot of time practicing my ball striking.
Okay, so they saved the penalty. We giving a bit of life there. And then we started creating chances. Garnacho had a chance. It was a lovely one-touch move. I'm really impressed by that around the box. He's played in by Rashford. And then he sort of swiveled. Rashford made a run in the box, despite the penalty spot. And he used Rashford to run and swiveled and tried to shoot. And I think it was saved.
Do you think he made the right choices?
Yeah, I think it was the right choice. Because Rashford
he
was
hit the bar, and then and previous to that, he had the swivel shot. I was a bit annoyed with him for those, which is that I just like tap-ins. I don't need volleys and all this sort of stuff. A goal's a goal. And I know it's the last game of the season and he's a young kid and stuff like that, but we're going Champions League next year. We've got to make every opportunity count. And I was a bit frustrated with Garnacho doing that. And he also got eaten alive by Tete for the majority of the match.
Yeah.
Good player, Tete.
Yeah, I've never really seen him like that. Both their fullbacks are rapid. Just going back to those chances. So the first one, he swiveled. Rashford made a decoy run, and Rashford was a bit pissed that he didn't get the return.
I would have been as well.
That was the right choice by Garnacho. And it was saved, I think. And then the next one, a minute later, he hit the bar when Malacia, who was right deep in the box, playing that sort of inverted role in that half space area, just rolled him in, which you expect a fullback to do. He's not going to shoot from there. And when I saw the second angle, I think Garnacho should have scored that, but he hit the bar a bit too much power. Just slot it in the corners.
I think just pass it to Rashford for a tap in myself. But I'd like to shout out Sancho in that one, because although Sancho, I know, he got a goal, great, and he did a couple of tricks and stuff, but the thing that I like most about him is he passes the ball in the box to someone who's in a better position.
Yes.
And for both those goals, for both those chances, rather, it was Sancho just trying to play the fundamentals of football. And Anthony drives me crazy for not doing it. So I was really pleased to see Sancho continuing this, passing the ball to people in a better position. And I wish Garnacho had done the same.
This is a message to Mr. B if you're watching, because he calls Garnacho the Sancho Slayer. They're two different players, and we just discussed the differences between them. Sancho's going to be passing the ball in the box, be a bit more composed, and Garnacho is 100 miles an hour. And
he's a puppy.
Down. He's a what?
He's a puppy.
He's a puppy.
He's a puppy. We'll see what he's like when he's in a season or two. But at the moment, he's a puppy, and you can't get. And I do get annoyed with him. But when you have young players, they're going to do all this nonsense. Like Rashford was no different.
Yeah. Talk about the goal. So Fred, Sancho, and Bruno. I put here. Bruno was in zone 14. I keep using that now. I gave that during my team speech today because we were getting overrun. Double header, second half double header. We went to three at the back. I played defensive midfielder, and I said the reason to do that is to stop them playing their football and protect the middle. Using your terminology, you would have been really proud of me, Bath Time.
I am very proud.
Yeah.
What was the score?
So first game we should have won 5-3. We had so many chances. I was feeding guys. I was playing up front, feeding guys in, and they were just missing the disc. Couldn't finish their dinner. And we should have won that. And they had two penalties, which was stupid. So the second game, because they were outplaying us, they were sort of finding spaces sort of in deep, and we couldn't get to them, and they were just playing triangles around us, that sort of thing, and really dominating the game. To stop that, I was playing forward. I dropped in, but I still couldn't get around these players. They were just too young for me to sort of get amongst them. So we went to a three at the back, and I played defensive midfielder, and then that way I stopped the service. I was with communication from the guys. I told the three not to be wide, to be nice, protect the middle. And we had nice young guys at the wide to sort of get up and down. And I just stopped any sort of balls coming in to their striker, who was really good, and bossed the game by physically winning everything, playing in your role. And strolling around the park. And I was pretty impressed with what I did today. So just going to the goals.
We all are. Well done.
I have to say, my control, my touch was... the ball's coming down, bringing it down, no one touch, pop, chest.
Just do some running and play there all the time. Best position in the pitch.
I really enjoyed it at Bath Time, and I was thinking about you today, because I know that's your position, and I've learned a lot from talking to you about what you should be doing there, how you can see everything, you can dominate everything. And I've got the physicality as well and a good touch, a really good touch to deal with that.
Well, I've got the touch, don't have the physicality. Did you think of me when Casemiro shot from the halfway line?
I didn't see.
In the first half, Casemiro had a shot from the halfway line that was rubbish. I like doing that as well.
What do you think of Sancho's run? What do you think of Fred's run into the box for the Sancho goal? Nice drive, wasn't it, to get in the box?
Like
and
Woody Woodpecker. Ball wasn't under control. He was sort of like, his hair was fletlocks blowing in the wind. Yeah. I like Fred as a person. I'm not sure about him as a player, but that's what happens when you get people in the right positions. Everyone worked. Bruno got the space. Fred ran off him straight through. We got a bit of pinball in the box and Sancho taps it in, but we worked to get that position. So it's not the prettiest goal, but it counts. But I don't think that... I think Fred's part in the second goal was stunning, but the first goal, a little bit lucky.
Brilliant. That was a lovely reverse pass, wasn't it? If we go into the second half now.
Outrageous.
Yeah, it looks lovely. I mean, they're raving about it. I was raving too. Sort of like a reverse pass, sort of thing Ronaldinho would do. And he's got to be on the same page. Do you think he caught eyes with Bruno or knew that Bruno was making that run? Because it was just weighted so well. And Bruno's finish as well. One-on-one the keeper. Dinked him.
He didn't. I mean, the only time that Bruno looked really happy in the celebration after that was when the Big Pudding came in and sort of gave him a hip five. Which I thought I might add that to my game as well. That looks fun. It was
not your big hips and batty.
Yeah, exactly. I look like a seat. Look like one of those Bunda TVs. I think Fred. There's a couple of things that Fred has, and one of them is vision. Like, Fred's always been good at seeing the space. It's his application that has been the problem. Like, a couple of minutes later, he put one through to Bruno, I think, and he just sort of mishit it or something like that. But you know that Bruno's gonna be making runs all day. And Fred just gave it to him, and I can't think of many passes that Fred has done like that. But a couple come to mind where he's tried it. And then Bruno, just that. I wish I could do stuff like that. The way he sort of pretends to kick it in stride, waits for the keeper to go down, lifts it, and then just runs. Oh, yes, it's beautiful. Great stuff. But I thought that Fred was magnificent in that particular part of play.
Just going back, so Bruno's obviously been on the end of things there, but at the start of the first half, he played a ball from inside his half, a long ball over the centre-backs, and Rashford had a chance where he could have sort of...
Yeah.
So Bruno's showing his versatility,
I don't like these long balls, though. I mean...
Long pass.
Yeah, well, look, they're meant to keep the defence honest, aren't they? Yeah. And stop them pushing up and things. But I don't like my striker in the systems working the channels. And it's one of my reservations I have with Rashford is that he needs to be staying central, like pinning players, certainly from that phase of play. But I much prefer it when we do where we just bring it up the pitch as a whole unit. And then you see stuff like the Garnacho chances, where basically from us getting up the pitch, playing nice and tight and things. And I'm not a fan of these driven passes into, well, that was into zone 17 if you want to be technical, but into those channels. I don't really like them, to be honest.
We've always got that option though, bro, because when you look at Rashford, how many times has he scored goals where he's been played in over the top into the space in behind? That seems to be his forte.
Yeah, he's fantastic. And I was thinking today about when I was watching the game, I was looking at Garnacho, and I think a lot of people who watch us doing our things know that I would love to give Garnacho a loan. He's too good to go on loan, but there's so much stuff so much basic stuff that he's missing with his defending and his positioning. And I also thought he could have nearly got himself sent off today when took a pull. he took a poor touch and then just went in with his studs at like knee height, and he missed the guy. But it was a under 16 challenge basically.
Okay.
What he did, but
Oh,
Garnacho, he doesn't have the pace that Rashford has. Like
yeah.
Rashford is just, it's elite, that pace. You know, like Mbappe, even Dan James has got that pace.
Yeah.
Garnacho doesn't have it, and so I suppose that like these direct balls from the centre circle, they do keep that defence honest. But I wish we were hitting them to the other side, because Tete has elite pace.
Right.
Like
Just
he is fast.
it was amazing the way he like covered ground so easy and just edged him out. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Just to go back, I just want to throw something. It's off topic, but I was
Okay.
watching England under 17s against France under 17s yesterday, and I watched the whole game. And I was really, something you said to me a while ago. They were going through the motions, and there was no being reactive or no aggression. There was nothing coming from England or France, really. Neither side was that good, but it seems like football's changed a lot, where the quality players, they were just popping it around, and it's like all under instructions. And it's just there has to be a bit of freestyle, or a bit of courage, or a bit of take the ball, be driving with it or something. I just felt it was a negative game, and they were too drilled. It's like too much mental drilling into their game. And I can't remember how you worded
Yeah.
it. You saying something about the way people
Solving
approach
problems.
it. Yeah, solving problems. I've just felt, wow, and that really evidenced it for me. What you were saying, I was thinking like even like texting you to say, watch this game,
Well,
bro.
I don't know, 'cause, like, neither of us were in academy systems. We obviously, like, we're interviewing people who work in academy, and who, like, at 10:30 tonight, we've got the Cambridge United youth scout and youth coach.
Yeah.
And we basically talk about him emceeing in America.
Yeah, don't forget about
But
that.
I think maybe at that level, at under 16, under 17 now, maybe what's happening is they've been trained how to play a system, and they've obviously got the technique, and the majority of them will have the physique kind of developed by that age. Maybe that level of football is about learning that, is getting
Right.
the experience, go and sort of to go and solve problems. Because I like linked to you, and everyone should go and look for this clip. Do you remember Redondo?
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Beautiful.
Did you see the clip that I sent you of his son?
No.
All
Is he
right.
at Manchester United? You were
No, no,
saying
no, no. It was
you
in
said something
like,
about his son playing football. Yeah, but go
yeah,
on.
it was in an under 17 match for Argentina, and it's Busquets better have like a kid on the way, because Redondo Junior looks unbelievable.
Wow.
Like, go and look for
Can you
him.
send it to me again, please, so I can?
I will send it to you again.
Thank you.
He
Thank
plays
you.
the pivot role better than anyone in our squad. But also shout out to Casemiro, because
Yeah.
although I don't like a lot of things Casemiro does, one thing I do like about him is he's not like these under 17 players. He goes and he makes things happen. And I'm not sure he should be doing that as a defensive midfielder, but at least he's got that in him. And so has Bruno. It's just the application is what frustrates us, I think.
Couple of comments here. Big up to Eddie Football Waffle. Go and check out his channel. He's saying 8 likes. We want more likes, guys, if you don't mind. Third place achieved. Thumbs up. Ten Hag mentality is peak. Look, I just going off topic again, but VAR. The question was put out in the comments. It goes way back, further up in the comments. They're saying about VAR. Should it be axed? Is it a success? Zoe Media House putting it out there. They should bring AI in for VAR, maybe. Again, saying take the human element out of VAR and it's perfect. Emma saying here, I was a little annoyed about the forwards being selfish today. Can we say hi? Read out the name, because I always call him Miguel, but can you do the full name for me, please, in Spanish?
Paro Miguel Escobardo, which is, I think Escobar means broomstick. So yeah, so like let us know, Paro.
Does Paro means fire?
No, it means like stop.
Stop. Okay. Stop Miguel Broomstick.
Fuego
Okay.
is fire.
Miguel's one of our favourites, man. It's really nice to have you on board, Miguel. Haven't seen you for a while. Hope you're doing well, man. No football for 2 months now. Disappointing, isn't it? I mean, it's over.
Love Island.
Of course, great
It's Love
timing.
Island time.
Next week, isn't
It's,
it? June?
yeah, Ice Cream and Love Island starts now. We're free of football for a little bit.
Here we go. So we've come first. So Zoe's saying here, Ten Hag has decent transfer window. Signs players he wants. We will see a different brand of football next season.
Do you think a different brand?
Not brand, different brand.
I
Just
think
it would be
optimizations are what we're going to see now. Like, I think
explain the word optimizations. I'm going over my head there.
Like I think he's got his style of football down, that he sort of wants to play with that 3-1 build up, like 2 players out wide, 3 in the centre. Like he likes his like Rashford was doing this a bit today. He likes his striker to drop back and one of his midfielders to go. And I think that by talking about optimizations is that when you look at someone like Mason Mount or Declan Rice or Harry Kane, they're better at doing what we're doing than we are at the moment. So I'm not sure that he's going to come in and implement a completely new system, except in one area, which is pressing. The press has got to improve. It's rubbish. It's so poor.
If you got to personnel at Mason Mount, that would help, I believe. Big up to Solo, by the way. The boss of this channel, the guy who started this channel up, and is still thereabouts. So I was speaking to him this weekend. Hope you're doing well, Solo. You're probably back home now and chilling. And how do you feel, Solo, about third place? Is that overachievement? Zoe Media House saying Viva Ten Hag. And we want to say hi to Jeff, the favourite referee from the USA. He's saying, what junk are you talking about, America? And he's laughing, clearly. Everyone's saying hi to Jeff because we love Jeff. Emma's saying here, I do think we should start loaning out players at 15 or 14, 15, just to lower leagues.
Wow.
They can't play.
What, you want 14-year-olds playing professional men's football?
Here we go. There you go. Miguel
he is incredible.
I need to see this now. Can we stop the show or just put a clip up right now? I'm excited. I need to go and see this straight away. Make sure bath time you send it to me straight away.
I will. Calm down.
Big up, Jeff saying, big up at bath time on Monday. Hi to everyone. He's reeling off the names here. It's been a wonderful season, isn't it? Loved by all. And Jeff saying, anyone comes to Texas for pre-season, we need to meet up. It's too hot out there for us. Zoe's saying here, yes, bath time. If Ten Hag gets what he wants, we won't see them long balls like we do. Long passes, guys. Long passes.
Look, with Bruno in the team, there's gonna be long passes. Right?
And Jeff agrees with you. Agree, Bath. Press and counter game is weak right now.
I think our counter press is all right, actually. It's far ahead of our press, but like a counter press is nowhere near as hard to train as a press. A press is an absolute nightmare. Plus that goalkeeper. Like, how are you going to learn pressing with De Gea in training? Like, you can't take him out and stick in like a youth midfielder. Like, you can't go and get Will Fish and tell him to play in goal. Like, you have to do it with De Gea. So, like, maybe that's a reason.
But Solo was saying it at the start of the season, said 8th place finish for Man United. So that's a big overachievement. And we've got a name here for the son. It's Federico. I can say that. Redondo.
Fede.
And remember what he did to Henningberg. That was just
was that turn?
Yeah, crazy, wasn't it? Outstanding player he was, Redondo. And De Gea is going to... Didn't finish what he's going to say. Anyways, go play ratings. Today, De Gea, you felt he could have done something with the corner, maybe. His goal kick went out of place. What would you score him today?
Overall for the season? Overall for the season, I score him 4. And I feel I'm being generous there as some of the performances that he's put in. But today I give him a 6. He saved a penalty.
Yeah.
And I think that takes away from his nonsense at the goal kick, conceding that corner.
Defensive unit. We've got Delos, Lindelof, Maguire, and Malacia. I know we conceded a goal from a corner, but how do you think they played today? How do you rate all the defenders there?
I think they did pretty well today. Like, it's difficult playing against Mitrovic, and I think that Maguire only got done maybe once or twice by him, like in the air. I felt he won that battle, like overall. So as a defensive unit, I'd give them all a 6. I'd like to give Delo a 7 because I thought he played better than everyone else. But
Okay.
they were solid. They were aggressive. Lindelof, I love how far up the pitch he gets, stopping people turning. I thought they were good, and you'd expect them to be good. To be honest, they're all good players. And Matt Malacia, I like his aggression after he got put in the car by his mum at the
But three.
corner. Sorry?
Sorry, Casemiro, Fred, and Bruno.
5.
What about Bruno's finish? You were raving about it. His pass with Rashford.
Well, are we doing them all together or individually?
Okay, yeah, all right. But I'm saying Bruno. I think 5. That would
Bruno, I'd give a 6, or I'd probably give a 6, and I'd give Casemiro and Fred both 5s, as I thought that they didn't do what they were meant to be doing today.
Jeff saying Mitrovic did a WWE move on Malacia. Is that
Yeah, it was good. It was. It was when. Do you not remember Maguire came over and sort of hugged Mitrovic to stop him starting on Malacia? They were both like lying on the floor about 70th minute, 75th minute, something like that.
I'm sorry, I didn't.
It was good.
Okay, okay. Just saying here, Dave De Gea is going to come in able to pass and distribute next. He's going to come in next season able to pass and distribute. Maybe he can work on it, can't he? He can probably try all season to sort of practice. Practice makes perfect, doesn't it? Emma saying here, yes, the kids out to a much lower leagues, talking about the 14, 15-year-olds, but like a bit further up than Sunday League. Of course, it depends on how big and good they are. Playing is great learning. I think don't you have to be 16 to play?
Yeah, like you can't put like a child in anything. Like step 7 would be too much for them.
Yeah. Wingers, obviously today we had Garnacho and Sancho, and then Rashford as well. How would you rate their performances today?
5 for Garnacho. I'll give Sancho a 7, but I really think 6. He wasn't great in his defensive work. Rashford, probably a 5 as well, but he didn't see a lot of the ball. And then when the subs came on, we looked completely different, and I thought we played much better.
Okay, man in the match today. Who's your favourite performer?
I'll give it to Lowe.
Oh, interesting. I don't think anyone else would have said that.
No one stood out to me in the game, because like Sancho did a lot of stuff that is obviously very good. Like he scored a goal. Weghorst should have scored that header from his cross. He was passing the ball, but he got bullied badly in his defensive work. He was letting men sort of like run past him and leaving it all to Delo to deal with. And I felt that I want more from Sancho, and he's getting there. But no, I didn't think anyone really played very well until the subs came on. And I thought McTominay was quite close to man of the match for me.
Let's not go there. You can upset people. Emma's saying here everyone gets a 10 from her because we won. Box is saying here top goal scorers this season. Fantastic. 30 goals, man, for Rashford. I think it's the most since Van Persie. Fernandes, 13 goals. 9 for Martial, 8 for Anthony, 7 for Sancho, and Casemiro. Outstanding.
Doesn't Fred have like 11 goals?
I know he scored a couple, more than a couple. I want to say hi to Donovan here. I enjoyed that. Gay was my man in the match, and Fred was the best outfield player. He got supplemented, didn't
he? Not for me, Donovan.
Zoe's saying here, backing up Emma's point, she said nowadays 15-year-olds are huge. I think back when 20, 30 years ago, 15-year-olds that were huge would definitely get into a club. That was the policy, I think, if you're going to get signed by Academy. You had to be bigger than the rest. And
I don't see the point of sending 15-year-olds, no matter how big they are, out to sort of like Forest Green or something like that. Or it doesn't make any sense to me. Ever 17, 18, 19 is where you want to start giving players loans, and a lot of the time you want to give them loans to get them out of their comfort zone. Like someone like David Beckham when he went to Preston North End.
Good shout.
And also we have a terrible history of loans at this football club. Do you remember? Is it Royal Antwerp? Where
we had a feeder club or relationship with them, didn't we?
Yeah, I think Fletcher, O'Shea, Wes Brown all went out there, and
Yeah.
there was drink driving. There was all sorts of problems out in Belgium. You want your players in and around the club, and when they're good enough to play at a professional level, send them to a professional club. I don't see what you gain from putting people in like step five.
So it's promising here. Everyone thinks that De Gea over the summer, Eric Ten Hag will have him doing drills with Martinez, Varane, and Ericsson. That's from Jeff. He said he will be playing defender in small-sided games till he gets it.
No, well, De Gea has gone backwards every single season. He used to be the best shot stopping under
Yeah,
Mourinho. He's nowhere near that level now. He used to be able to play in a Dutch based possession football team with Louis van Gaal. He can't do that anymore. They used to say when he came he was good with his feet. He
yeah.
is not good with his feet. And, like, De Gea keeps going backwards. If you think that De Gea is gonna work hard and improve his distribution, I've got magic beans for you, Jeff. Like, it's just not happening.
You're going to like this bath time. Jeff saying man of the match McTominay, and that's backed up by Emma. Emma saying McTominay was quite good when he came on. So,
Well, I like that he protected the centre of the pitch. He bailed
yeah.
Maguire out. He also was the guy that got the ball to Palestri for Presti's nice little run. I thought, like, I was impressed with Palestri again on Monday. Do you like him?
Yeah, yeah,
Wicked.
I think so too. When he came on, I think he's just so intelligent for his age, and there's so much more to come from him. I believe. Obviously, Garnacho's overly fast and can run and dribble direct. But I think Palestri could end up being a better player than him.
I
And
agree, actually.
hmm,
Like, it's just it's the thing is though is that the Garnacho has taken, like, with the minutes he's been given,
yeah,
he's really taken his chances.
yeah.
And, like, I mean, he scored against Fulham when I watched them Craven Cottage this year, like, last minute, like, and I just like to see more of Palestri. I really think he's got something.
Jeff saying here, club level under 18s is extremely competitive. I'm not so sure. I don't think it is. Donovan saying watch Fred start against City at Wembley. Interested in that. We'll ask your
I
thoughts on
think he will.
that. Okay, you said same page
You
with
need
Donovan.
legs around Casemiro.
Yeah,
Like, he's too immobile. You need legs, and Fred's got good legs. There's not going to be a lot of aerial balls coming in, so I'm not sure that plays in for McTominay. Fred is better with dealing with smaller, more agile players, but the thing is McTominay is levels above defensively, and he offers us more physicality for set pieces. So it's an interesting one, but I think he'll go with Fred.
okay. You heard it here first, guys. Boxer saying the assist this season, talking about Bruno's good numbers, isn't it? From Bruno, he was smashing. He was in his 20s when he first came to the club. He had a fantastic season with goals and assists. But
Those
that's right.
penalties, then he's only
Yeah,
had like one or two this season, hasn't
yeah. Our youth team is like tiny like Angel Gomez, but other youth teams are huge like Cities and Liverpool's. Okay, Jeff, you're just getting wound up here, but he's just winding you up. Jeff is.
he? I'm not sure he was, Jeff. I'm
Okay.
not convinced.
I like Palestri, says Zone Media House. If he was playing in the Championship, fans would bang on say sign him. Yeah, probably. Emma saying here, we're looking at giving De Gea a 2-year contract. That's definitely a transition contract in my eyes. And we're looking at other keepers as well. Miguel saying here, Palestri is calmer. That may come with age. I like that. I agree. I totally agree with you.
He
And
strikes me as being a lot more mature
yeah,
than, like, Garnacho is just. He's the main character in a Disney show. Like, it's unbelievable.
all right. I'm going to finish up with ask you some quick fire questions here, bath time.
All right.
Top of the head. Talking about Premiership and just football in general.
Okay.
How do you rate the Premiership as in standard this year? Because we've got players like teams like Luton coming up. But what do you think of the standard this year? Is the standard really high in the Premier League?
Absolutely. And you can tell, I mean, you can tell it from, like, the quality of managers at clubs that I don't reckon are particularly prestigious. Unai Emery at Aston Villa,
Yeah.
Lopetegui at Wolves. These are, just mid-table fodder clubs. and they've got really, really good managers in. I think that what we're seeing is that Lampard's, Allardyce's, Deitch, Hasenhüttl, those kind of like Jesse March, those managers are getting their teams relegated because they're not up to the standard of the rest of the managers in the Premier League, and everyone's got incredible resources. I think it's I think it's by far the best league in the world, and unfortunately, we've got one of the best teams in history playing in it at the moment in Manchester City.
So is this the peak of the Premiership? Do you remember a time in the past when there was like an abundance of teams at this high level?
Yeah, I mean, like there was a time where like Aston Villa were sort of in third and things, and it was much tighter and closer. But the quality of tactics, of players, of standards, and also the fact that there's in no other like league in the world do you say, "Oh, 2-0's a dangerous scoreline." You only say that in the Premier League. And I watched a bit of Bundesliga, like to watch Dortmund absolutely choke, and it was rubbish, the level of football there. I saw Inter versus AC Milan in Champions League. I thought it was pretty poor, to be honest. The Premier League is fantastic, and for me, it's got 90% of the best players in the world.
Good stuff. Box is saying the smaller teams have improved. So who would be that be? The smaller teams?
Brighton.
Survived Everton have survived relegation today. Brighton.
No, I mean,
okay.
Brighton, Brentford, Aston Villa, Wolves. Who else is a nice little team?
Bournemouth.
Yeah, Bournemouth. Forest and Villa are obviously massive clubs, but
Yeah,
they're small. They're small teams, as it were. It's just that everyone is really, really good now, and it's because of the standard of coaching.
Oh, so it's down to coaching
And tactics. Yeah. Systems.
And because the last English manager to win a league title, or the top league title, was
Wilkinson.
Howard Wilkinson for Leeds in 1992. So no English manager has won a title since then. It's amazing, isn't it? But in the same breath, you're saying football has improved and the level has improved as well. So eventually, I think one of these English managers will pick up all these skills and maybe develop into a top coach. Question here from Zoe: is this the last final show of the season? No, we go on throughout the summer, don't we, Bath Time? I'm sure Bath Time, if you've got any ideas for shows or anything you want us to do during the summer while you're bored for 2 months.
No, Love Island.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't clash with Love Island, because that's our favourite show. Smaller teams definitely improved there. Some of the bigger sides have plateaued or lost direction consistently. Liverpool, Tottenham and Chelsea, especially this season. Here's a question for you, Bath Time. Why would Liverpool drop off so much after being so consistent? What's gone on with Liverpool, for example?
Well, a couple of things. There's all the allegations of their use of caffeine is one of them. But the other thing is that Liverpool didn't adapt. They were far too open all season, and it's something that happens to a lot of teams that have been successful, is that the manager's got trust in these players because they've delivered him all the stuff that he wants, and then the system's not really working. The players aren't performing at the level, and it drops. But because you've got loyalty, you stick with them. So I think that in Liverpool's case, it's that their tactical setup was diabolical compared to everyone else's, far too open. Now they've been on a run of like eight games won or something, and they did it by being compact, like every other team in the Premier League has to be. Chelsea just, I mean, if you get a popularist in, like I tell you, do you know what a popularist is? Like OMONDI, like the sort of technical...
I don't know if I'd be able to explain it, but I think I've got an understanding of what a populist is.
So a populist normally is someone that comes in from outside a field and says that everything in that field is broken, and that
I wouldn't have known that then. No, I wouldn't have understood that. No.
Yeah, that only they can fix it. And then when they come in, they don't actually have a knowledge of how the system works, and they create more problems. And that's what Todd Bowley has done at Chelsea. And to be honest, the Glazers have done it to us as well, or Ed Woodward in particular. Like everyone hates the Glazers, but they're actually populists. They keep trying to give us what they think we want.
So
instead of
is that the opposite of like a troubleshooter goes in to fix things?
well, a
With no
reformer would
innate
probably be the opposite.
right.
Someone who understands the system. But the thing is that with Chelsea, so there's been stuff in the Ukraine, and there's been a change in ownership, and then they just got their initial recruitment wrong with Sterling and Kukureya.
Yeah.
They have Thiago Silva, who is a wonderful centre back, but should be moved on because he needs legs around him and things. And Spurs are just Spurs.
Emma's saying here, I just think a lot of English teams plan really well and just to get good people in all places, and that way the level became really good, or become really good.
Well, it's
And
competitiveness as well.
Miguel's giving us an
Everyone's
absolute
going.
big up here. He's saying you guys are absolutely brilliant. We thank you, Miguel. Appreciate that.
Ganada.
Really do. And he says he agrees with you 100% on what happened in Chelsea. What's in the word again? Populist.
Populist. Think like Donald Trump is an example of a populist.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense to me the way you explained it. Definitely Chelsea. I think their setup has been grounded for years with the youth. They got an abundance of youth players there, and you'd think, well, when are these players going to come through? And it's just don't.
And an English core.
Yeah,
They always had an English core, and they were all about defence. Now they've got in Mudryk. I feel a bit sorry for him. He's come from a war basically, but Enzo Fernandez, Cucurella, Fofana, a terrible goalkeeping situation, just completely mismanaged. Like I can't think of a club in world football that is more mismanaged than they are. Like much more so than PSG and us. Just absolutely appalling situation.
Most definitely. Chelsea were 12, 10 points off 10th place, but also just 10 points above the relegation zone. Wow. Zoe Media House saying Chelsea, Liverpool, and Spurs invest for the short term, whereas City, United, and Arsenal invest for longevity. And now there is Newcastle as well. Just speak about Newcastle, really, about the way they've gone. I mean, let's give a review since the summary of the season. They were in relegation zone last season, and they've turned it around now. They finished 4th place. Magnificent. What do you think about Newcastle? You ever been up there? What do you think about the city?
I lived there, Armando.
Sorry?
I lived in Newcastle.
Well, tell us about it. Well, you're a perfect player. Tell us about Newcastle and what success like this could do for the city. And are they doing it the right way? Are they going about it the right way?
Yeah, I think they're going about it the right way. Where they've got in Eddie Howe, who is not an inexperienced Premier League coach and performed miracles at Bournemouth. Very progressive manager and probably should have been managing England, to be honest. Fantastic manager. They're doing basic things like playing Joel Linton in his correct position. They have one player who is... No, I was poisoned in Darlington.
That's another. I want to hear that after you finish your summary.
Yeah. That was by Sir Jim Radcliffe.
It's not funny. I'm sure it's not funny, but it just made me laugh the way jumped to
but they've got one. Yeah, it's true.
Oh God! All right.
It's true.
Come on to that. Lead on to that in a second.
All right. So Newcastle have one player that is genuinely in the argument of being world class, which is Kieran Trippier, where Trippier has created not as many, but he's got similar numbers to Bruno and De Bruyne this season. Yeah. They have a physical team that is playing a 4-3-3, out to in press, tactically disciplined. I don't understand how Dan Burn is performing as a Premier League left back, but he is. They've got one of the best defences in the league, and like in Newcastle, I'd occasionally go and watch a football match at St James's. They are rubbish fans. Everyone says that they're brilliant. They're like spoiled children. The first thing that goes against them, they all start crying about. This is in the Ashley years. Like, they were miserable. They had ridiculous expectations. They turned on the players within seconds. And they're incredibly emotional. So I think that whilst Newcastle are going to have a lot of money and things, they strike me a lot of like 1990s Liverpool, where everyone's a bit too emotional for themselves to have the composure to get over the line.
Right.
So I think that Newcastle might be 4th and 3rd for a long time without really sustaining a challenge. And I like Sunderland far more than Newcastle.
Wow. I'll take Botman, says Zoe Media House, centre back.
I thought that said Batman.
Box agrees with you about Newcastle, I imagine. Do you want to talk about being poisoned, or is that okay? Are you right to talk about that?
Yeah. So, Jim Radcliffe, as you all know, owns like the Ineos group, and Ineos have a plant in Newton Aycliffe, which is in the northeast of England. And when I was at university, I was in the northeast, and so I lived in Stockton, Durham, and Newcastle during those times. Right. And in the first year that I was living in Stockton, which is just next to Middlesbrough, for people who don't know, one day, someone at the college came in and was talking about how they lived in Darlington, and they'd woken up and the house, the train station, everywhere had been carpet bombed in this white powder.
Yeah.
And this white powder, it wasn't the fun stuff, it was vinyl chloride, and it was emissions from the Newton Aycliffe plant. And they did further investigations, and the drinking water for Middlesbrough, Stockton, like all the Billingham, all these other places, had ridiculous levels of cyanide and heavy metals in it, and it was all coming from Radcliffe's plant. But because the northeast is not a particularly rich area, and Ineos were one of the only employers there, they constantly threatened the Conservative government that if they got fined and things, they were going to pull out, they were going to go somewhere else, and good luck employing people.
How come I've never heard this story?
I've said this story so many times. If anyone wants to know, I can send you the instant reports about what Ineos have done in the north. It's not just the northeast. They've been doing it in Tayside in Scotland. They just go somewhere poor, pollute as much as they can, and then threaten to withdraw because of the employment that they bring to the area. Absolute scumbags.
My gosh. Never heard that one, but wow. Anyway, guys, we're coming in to the end of the show, and it's the end of the season as well. But there's one more game to come, and that game is the FA Cup final, the first Manchester Derby FA Cup final, and it's going to be great. I'm sure it's going to be great. Where are you watching it, Bath time?
I'll probably go and watch it with my dad.
Okay. And do you guys, everyone in the comments, do you think this is winnable? Can we do this? Can we beat them? Bath time, can you join us next week and sort of go through like a plan? Let's plan how to beat Man City.
Yeah, sure. Like, let me know when.
Yeah.
And I'll try and make sure I'm not drunk. And come on.
Can you please now? There's one more show coming on tonight. It's bank holiday, so you guys don't mind staying up. Do you want to just give a little preview about the show that we did with Barry Miller and what's next tonight with Marcus Batchelor? Coming at 10:30 p.m. tonight on Man United Agenda.
Okay, so the show that is currently up and available to watch is with Baz Miller.
I've watched it a few times and I find it really funny. Barry's cool, man. Barry's so funny, yeah.
So Baz was the Doncaster Donny Rovers captain. He sort of like played around like in the lower leagues and just on the sort of edge of professional football. Was a centre back, and he has played with loads of players that some of you will know, like Marcus Gale. There was quite a lot of Kevin Gallen talk, but it's an insight into being a professional football, the life you have to live, and all of the little sort of ins and outs that you won't find on Match of the Day or social media about the training that you have to do. Like Baz was, he used to like basically hang a ball off a string and practice his heading, and just would pull it up a little bit each time, and things like that. And then Marcos Batchelor is a guy that is based in Peterborough, isn't he? Which is near where I grew up. But he is a youth coach and a scout at Cambridge United, who basically went and did a scholarship in America, playing at a university team in like sort of MLS, setup, and has moved into coaching and scouting for a professional football club. And he talks about all the things you need to be a footballer. And I can't actually remember because it was quite a while ago, but we might have talked about drills, but I don't know if that was off stage or on stage. But it's basically about like being a footballer, living your life in football. And if you like football, you'll like these things because they give you an insight into what it is you need to do. Like, I'm not calling Emma out here, but it will show you why you can't send 15-year-old boys into professional men's football.
Yeah. And because Barry told a story off air, which we can't repeat. About
Yeah.
That's another reason why you can't send boys to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, half time, innit?
I do know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
it just shows you. Yeah, it's a.
Shout out Philip Schofield.
Oh god. Anyway, we're gonna wrap it up now, guys. Bath time, thanks for jumping on. It's the end of the season. We went on a bit longer than we should have, but it's the end of the season. This is the end of a great season for Man United. We finished first. We beat Fulham 2-1 at home to improve our home record, and there's so much to look forward to, isn't there? Don't worry, guys. We will continue with the Man United agenda throughout the summer with Bath Time, with Rebel, with Mr. B, with Solo, and all the characters that you see on the channel. Maybe even Callula will come back as well. But for now, we're signing out. Bath Time, thanks for joining us. From
Thanks
me,
very much.
Mondi Juma, good night. And from Bath Time.
Oh, yep, good night. I put in the Redondo link in the chat if anyone's interested. Enjoy your
Good.
weekend.
I'm going to try and check that out now. Wicked. Bath Time, have a great weekend. Enjoy your bank holiday. And don't forget to tune in at 10:30 tonight for Marcus Batchelor, Life of a Footballer. Later, guys.